美国对台积电在半导体产业居领头羊地位的忌惮，很早就随着新冠肺炎的疫情一起高涨。台面上，世人看到的是拜登签下了晶片法案，威逼利诱台积电就范，到亚利桑那州盖工厂。实际上，在川普 1.0 的时候，这位商人总统就已经展开对台积电赴美设厂进行游说。当时川普的心中有没有闪过一丝要对台积电进行补贴，以换取赴美设厂的结果？他不说，外人不会知道。倒是当前任总统拜登通过答应要给台积电66亿美元的补贴金之后，现任的川普总统会不会赖账，就考验着美国国会议员的智慧与道德感。
Thank you very much. This is a very big day for a lot of reasons, but this gentleman is a very unique man. It's, I think I could say in the world of chips, certainly, but in the world pretty much of business, nobody's done what he's done. For those of you that are into that world, you would say, wow, he's a legend, but he is a legend, and it's an honor to be with you. Very great honor. Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Welcoming from TSMC, which is the biggest there is at a level that you can't even calculate, frankly. CC Wei to the White House for a very historic announcement. This is a tremendous thing for our country and hopefully for his company. Today, Taiwan Semiconductor is announcing that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States over the next short period of time to build state-of-the-art semiconductor manufacturing facilities. I think mostly it's going to be in Arizona, which is what I understand, which is a great, and we want it big. The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America, and it'll be a big percentage of the chips made by his company, but as you know, they're based mostly in Taiwan, and they're far and away the biggest. There's nobody even close. Today's announcement brings Taiwan Semiconductor investments to about $165 billion they've started already, among the largest new foreign direct investments in the United States.
With the success of our first fab, so we are now very happy to announce we are going to invest additional $100 billion US dollar, in addition to our current $65 billion US dollars investment in Arizona. We are going to build 3 more new fabs after we promised 3 fabs already, and another 2 very advanced packaging fab, and most important, R&D center also in Arizona. Again, with that, I want to thank President Trump again for his support. In addition, I also want to thank my customers in the U.S., such as Apple, Nvidia, AMD, Qualcomm, Broadcom. They all support TSMC's manufacturing in the U.S. Without their support, we probably cannot make it through. So again, I want to thank them. Also, I'd like to thank the TSMC's employee. Without their effort, we just cannot make it today.
And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing.
President Trump dedicating about 2 minutes of his speech Tuesday night to the CHIPS Act. The bipartisan law gives $52.7 billion in subsidies for semiconductor chip manufacturing and production. Intel set to receive $8.5 billion for investments here on U.S. soil, including its Ohio 1 facility.
You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt. or any other reason you want to.
According to the Commerce Department, and a good chunk went to companies like TSMC and Intel right here in the Valley.
Because of the CHIPS and Science Act, we have the largest semiconductor investment in the entire country happening in Arizona.
But supply chain experts at ASU told ABC15 with or without government subsidies, the semiconductor industry in Arizona will continue to grow.
Today, we are already moving. Today, investments are coming in. These investments require an ecosystem, and more will keep on coming in. So for people who are concerned that, oh my God, the CHIPS Act will be repealed, and we are going to go back to the starting point in Arizona, no, that's not going to happen.
It remains unclear what would happen to CHIPS Act funding that was promised to companies, but not yet dispersed. What is clear is Trump's push for private investments.
如果美国国会真的同意废除晶片法案，那伤害的不会只有台积电跟三星这些外国企业，受伤更重的恐怕还是美国自己本土的晶片制造商。而且以川普总统的立场，他要的不是加倍奉还，当然晶片制造业能赚钱最好，如果不能赚大钱，那至少得要帮他照顾美国人民的生计。因为在他上任后的18个月，就业人口数绝对是个重要的指标。那台积电砸重金赴美投资之后，真的就会变成美积电吗？
Liza, there is a lot to digest last night, but I want to start with the potential repeal of the CHIPS Act. This was really supposed to cement our position in the AI competitive landscape. Does this put us at risk of falling behind?
Yes, the comments that Trump made in his speech last night were not new. He's on the record of complaining about subsidies, and what's really at the heart of his concerns is not wanting to be subsidizing other countries. And so he, in his first term and now he's putting pressure to get our allies to reimburse us. He really feels like it's unfair that TSMC, a Taiwanese company, has gotten subsidies. And so you've seen this ratcheting up of pressure on TSMC that resulted in the $100 billion announcement that TSMC will put even more investment into the United States. The $65 billion already announced before in the Biden administration was already the largest foreign direct investment in U.S. history. And so by adding another $100 billion to that, it really tops the chart. So it kind of remains to be seen if that will be enough to kind of satisfy him that he's been reimbursed by Taiwan and TSMC for these subsidies. But that's really at the heart of his concerns.
The CHIPS Act comments from last night was Donald Trump saying that it was terrible, that we should get rid of it and to use those savings to get a pay down of the debt and the deficit. It's possible that you get some of that. There are some contracts that have already been written. There are some tax provisions in there that allow you to get really nice tax credits if you build a semiconductor plant here in the United States. I'm kind of skeptical those go away. New additional grants probably do not happen because of this. Reworking grants, I think that's actually a really interesting question because we get questions of some of these chip makers that might look different today, Intel, others, than when they first got the grant. TSMC has said that they're going to invest $100 billion in the United States building out their plant in Arizona. So to me, it's an interesting part of the conversation, but I don't think it's a fundamental change. It's more of Donald Trump doesn't like what the last administration.
We see whenever sanctions are imposed on any country for items that they need, there are workarounds. What I'm interested to see really is what the TSMC executives have to say at the White House. I was just with TMC executives last week in Arizona touring the facility of which they've invested $65 billion, and they're obviously going to commit a lot more. They made clear that a lot of the reasons why one of the key reasons why they are building in the United States is that their customers want them to build in the United States for resiliency when it comes to making sure that if, God forbid, we go to war over Taiwan, where the most advanced semiconductors are produced, that we have some supply here, even though they are not producing the most advanced chips here. And the other thing they made clear was that the subsidies under the CHIPS Act, under Biden, help a lot. They've gotten more than $6 billion. And if the president, who's made clear he hates the CHIPS Act and would rather put tariffs on chips coming in, that they're going to need their customers to help them subsidize production here in the United States because it is much, much more expensive to produce here, even though there is a national security rationale for doing so.
不论是不是受到地缘政治风险加剧的影响，一个台积电的产量是绝对无法满足全世界的需求，而台积电的全球扩张计划必然是思虑良久后的决定。不过，半导体的生产并不是4季10数的事业，不会因为缩短了运输的时间成本，就能以更便宜的价格取得。在离开了拥有完整生态系统的台湾之后，台积电的晶片价格势必跟着调整。2024年底就传出台积电为降低海外厂高营运成本以及2奈米部署成本所带来的毛利率冲击，将在2025年依据客户、产品与产能规模不同，上调代工价格，其中2奈米的代工报价飙上3万美元。
Berkshire bought a substantial position in Taiwan Semiconductor and, contrary to its normal holding timeline, sold almost the entire position within a few short months. While you cited in a CNBC interview that geopolitical issues were the catalyst, these issues were seemingly no different when you acquired that stock. So what else, if anything, changed in those few months and prompted the firm to offload close to $5 billion worth of Taiwan Semiconductor shares?
Taiwan Semiconductor is one of the best managed companies and important companies in the world. And there is not, and I think you'll be able to say the same thing 5 or 10 or 20 years from now. I don't like its location. And
TSMC exclusively produces chips for Apple devices like iPhones and MacBooks, but the Taiwanese firm also serves other prominent clients like Nvidia and Qualcomm. Allegedly, these two companies are in talks with Samsung Electronics to expand production to Korean foundries if tensions in Taiwan worsen. TSMC currently manufactures 10,000 wafers monthly, with plans to expand to 80,000 by 2026. Its facility in Arizona will contribute to achieving a total production capacity of 140,000.
As we push the boundaries of scaling and advanced logic technology, TSMC is well on our way to go beyond FinFET and commercialize the 2-nanometer node for high-volume manufacturing. Introducing N2, the best-in-class logic technology featuring nanosheet transistors. N2 offers a full node advancement with a 10 to 15% increase in performance and a 25 to 30% increase in power efficiency, helping our customers unleash innovation like never before.
TSMC's 2-nanometers chip mass production means that mobile phones and computers may be faster, more power efficient, and more powerful in the future. TSMC's 2-nanometers chip mass production will allow mobile phone manufacturers to use more advanced chips and make better mobile phones. At that time, when buying a mobile phone, you can choose a mobile phone with stronger performance and longer battery life. Moreover, this is not only that. High-tech gadgets such as self-driving cars, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality also need more advanced chips to support. TSMC's 2-nanometers chip mass production is to give these high-tech gadgets wings, allowing them to fly higher and farther.
Madam Secretary, can you explain how important 2 nanometers is and why this is about security for the United States?
Right now, the U.S. makes 0% of these leading-edge chips in America, and TSMC is saying that they're going to start making this in America at scale. So it's good for our economy, but quite frankly, it's good for our national security, because you can't be a great nation if you buy all of your leading-edge chips from one company in another country. I think, TSMC is the leader in this manufacturing, and AMD, Nvidia, Apple are some of their biggest customers. But the important thing here, I think, is AI is a game changer. The demand for chips, not just from TSMC, from Intel, from Samsung, is going to go through the roof. And now more than ever, we need this produced in the United States.
If your tech budget feels like it's shrinking, you're probably eyeing TSMC's new 2 nanometers wafers. TSMC's 2 nanometers process is making waves, and not just for its cutting-edge tech. Each 300mm wafer could cost a whopping $30,000. That's almost double the price of their previous N4 and N5 wafers, which were only $15,000. So why the steep price hike? It's all about advanced technology. The N2 process offers a 25% reduction in energy consumption compared to the N3E. This means more efficient devices and longer battery life for us, the end users. Big names like Apple are jumping on board, planning to use these wafers in their new M5 and A-series chips. And they're not alone. Qualcomm, Intel, and AMD might follow suit. So while the cost is high, the benefits could be game-changing for the tech world.
今年初，有外媒指出，因为台积电的2奈米晶片成本过高，产能不足，使得苹果不得不放弃 iPhone 17 Pro 系列采用台积电2奈米晶片计划。但这对台积电来说从来都不是问题。台积电举世闻名的地方，并不单是在先进制程上的技术领先而已，它最具竞争力的地方是拥有高良率。即使是目前的2奈米，台积电的生产良率都有高达 60%， 远远领先紧追在后的对手三星2奈米。最多 30% 的良率，而美国在拜登总统时期就已经看到高端晶片市场惊人的潜力，所以现在对台积电来说，不是全球扩张的问题，是必须更快完成扩张，使每条生产线都能尽快动起来的问题。以前高端晶片的市场只有大厂有需求，如今随着 ABC15 的成功，未来市场对高端晶片的需求量不止大，还会更大。
But if you look at fundamentally what happened here, I think this was just a robust quarter that shows that a lot of the DeepSeek worries, that was smoke, no fire. I mean, these are numbers that show this AI revolution is actually just hitting its next gear of growth. And there's only one chip fueling this. And it's the person wearing the black leather jacket. It's the godfather of AI, Jensen Nvidia.
You know, it's interesting. Speaking of Jensen Huang, I think it was almost a year ago when Nvidia unveiled their next generation of chips, Blackwell, with a lot of fanfare. And there was a very aggressive push by Nvidia to get that product into the hands of customers because it's sophisticated, it's powerful. For the Wall Street fans, it's very expensive, and there's a lot of demand. But I think it seemed like the takeaway from last night was to get that product into the hands of customers quickly and efficiently came at a short-term cost. And NVIDIA's message last night was, yes, that hurts our profit margins in the short term, but people love the product, demand is great, and over time, we'll make up whatever costs we had to incur in the short term. Was that your takeaway?
Oh, yeah, I mean, and that was a great summary, but let's put this in perspective. If you go back 2 quarters ago, the view is this would be $3 to $4 billion a quarter. It was $11 billion. And ultimately, I think it's going to be on a trajectory to 15 to 20 billion per quarter. So I think it just shows in terms of any sort of the margin deterioration, that's something that's just going to continue to ramp. And that's why I think 175 base case, $200 bull case.
But a big question is demand, and demand from the hyperscalers like Amazon. I asked Amazon CEO Andy Jassy about the demand for AI chips earlier today. Here's what he said.
We have a lot of demand for AI right now, and a lot of demand for our instances that have Trainium chips, of NVIDIA chips, AMD chips. And I would tell you that at this stage, and it could change, but at this stage, if we had more capacity than we already have, and we have a lot, but if we had more capacity, we could monetize it.
For NVIDIA, you're saying?
For everything.
For everything.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think, remember, I mean, there's really predominantly been one chip that people have used the first couple years of this revolution around generative AI. I think over time, people are going to use lots of different chips, and how that mix changes, we'll have to see. But I have high confidence that Trainium will be a chip that a lot of people use on top of our platform, in addition to NVIDIA.